So we open up in the city of Jing. A girl is walking down the street minding her own business, scrolling through her phone. Normal day, nothing weird. Until some random dude taps her on the shoulder and hits her with the most cryptic line possible. He tells her she's marked and is about to face a bloodbath. Now, if some stranger walked up to you and said that, you'd probably call the cops. But this girl, she's built different. She turns around, listens to him ramble about shedding blood to avoid disaster, and her first thought is, did I forget my period supplies? She literally starts digging through her bag looking for a towel. Classic. Then she hits him with the knockout punch. She tells him she's not a virgin and has zero interest in dating him. Our guy is standing there like, wait, what? He was trying to be helpful, maybe even save her life, and now he's being called a pervert? Welcome to the modern world, buddy. He walks off thinking that maybe this attitude is normal. After all, mortals are everywhere, and you can't exactly expect regular people to believe in supernatural warnings. Fair point. But also, maybe don't open conversations with bloodbath. Just a thought. Now here's where the story really starts. Because this mysterious young man, he's got one of those backstories that hits different. Our hero was born into the Yi family. And look, his childhood wasn't perfect. He dealt with the usual bullying from classmates. But his family? They were happy. Life was good. Everything was fine. Until it wasn't. 5 years ago, his father made a mistake. He tried to save a girl and ended up offending some powerful man from the capital. A few days later, there was a banquet at Cloud Lake Villa. And by the end of that night, every single member of his family was dead. Gone. Wiped out. Our guy was the only one left breathing. And here's the part that really stings. All those family friends, the uncles, the people who swore they'd always be there, not a single one of them did anything. They just watched, turned their backs, pretended the Yi family never existed. You can see it in his eyes, pure rage. He's screaming that he's going to kill someone, charging at the man responsible, ready to end it all. A sword gets thrown at him and it shatters into pieces, doesn't even slow him down. But the enemy, he just laughs, mocks him. Says he doesn't even know what the Yi family is, and that he could destroy them with his own hands. Pain. The only reason our boy survived that night is because his mother pushed him into Qiantan Lake at the last second. She sacrificed herself so he could live. He would have drowned too, but a master found him and took him to Kunlun. 5 years of training later, Chen is back. He's got a mission from his master, and somewhere deep down he's got a list of names he plans to cross off one by one. But revenge can wait. For now he's got a job to do. As he walks through the city, he accidentally lets some of his power slip out. Suddenly, everyone around him drops to the ground. They can't move. They feel weak. They're panicking, asking what just happened, wondering if they felt some kind of strange aura. Our guy quickly pulls it back. Whoops, didn't mean to knock out half the street. He reminds himself to stay focused. The task comes first. Revenge comes later. So he heads to the Home Group, one of the top 500 companies in China and the leading corporation in Jing City. Our hero looks at the building and honestly seems confused. This is where the girl he's supposed to protect works? Miss Shayaraku from the Home Group? See, 3 days ago, his master used some kind of divination technique and discovered that this woman might die within 100 days. Now, it's Chen's job to prevent that from happening. He doesn't know her, doesn't care about her. But his master gave him the mission, so that's that. He walks up to the entrance and immediately gets stopped by 2 security guards. They're not letting some random kid in a cap walk into a Fortune 500 company. Our guy tries to explain that he needs to meet Shia-Raku. The guards call up to check if she has any appointments scheduled. Spoiler, she doesn't. Chen asks how he can make an appointment. Says what he has to tell her is extremely important. Offers to wait on the sofa. The guards shut him down hard. They tell him not just anyone can meet the woman and order him to leave. Wrong move. Our hero asks what exactly they mean by those words. And before they can answer, he unleashes his power. Both guards drop to their knees. They're shaking, confused, wondering what just happened. For a split second, they felt like they were about to die. Standing over them, Chen warns them to be careful with their words and not act like bastards. Then, he casually walks over to a chair, takes off his cap, sits down, and asks someone to call the manager. Purple energy starts flowing off him. Everyone in the lobby is staring. Armed police show up. The head of security steps forward and asks if this kid has even considered the consequences of the chaos he's causing. Still annoyed, our guy explains again. He's just looking for Miss Shia. He asks them not to interfere, and the security head, he's terrified. Something in his gut is telling him this young man could kill every single person in this building without breaking a sweat. Trying to defuse the situation, the security head says the woman isn't on the premises. He offers to take contact information and pass it along. Chen considers this. She's not here? Well, nothing he can do about that. He decides to sit and wait for her return. The security guard is panicking internally. He cannot let a dangerous individual just camp out in the lobby. He orders the police officers to advance. And then someone shouts. Everyone freezes. A woman with purple hair and an imposing presence walks into the scene. She tells them to wait and says she'll handle this personally. The employees are whispering. Who is she? Turns out this is Sun Ye, the company's director. Word around the office is that the only person who can match her beauty is Miss Shiraku herself. The head of security tries to warn her that the situation is dangerous. She dismisses him and asks to be left alone with the protagonist. Sun-ye introduces herself and asks how she can help. And our guy? He freezes, because he knows this woman. Over the past 5 years, Sun-ye was one of the people he could never forget. They were seatmates in high school, had a great relationship, lost contact after graduation. Then tragedy hit his family. When the Yi family fell, everyone abandoned them. Every single family announced they had no ties. The ties group his father founded was taken over and fell under the shadow of that man from the capital. Everyone ran. Everyone except Sun-ye. She faced all the rumors, walked into the morgue, claimed his parents' bodies when no one else would. She erected a gravestone for the entire family. And now she's standing right in front of him, and she has no idea who he is. Still processing the shock, Chen says he never expected to meet her in a place like this. His old friend, his seatmate, the only person who showed up when everyone else disappeared. But Sun-ye doesn't recognize him. She just tells him he's getting too close and he quickly apologizes. She asks if there's anything she can help with. Our guy stumbles over his words, says she reminds him a lot of an old friend and that it distracted him. Sun-ye raises an eyebrow, says that line sounds pretty old-fashioned. Then she turns and walks away, telling him he can stay and wait for the person he wants to meet. Just don't cause any more commotion. Chen watches her leave. In his head, he's analyzing how much she's changed over the years. She's not that quiet girl from high school anymore. She's got presence now, confidence, power. He decides to set the whole situation aside for now, leaves the building. He'll figure out the Shiaraku problem another way. Outside, someone clicks a car key. It's Sun-ye, walking toward her vehicle, ready to head out. She gets in, settles into the driver's seat, and that's when she notices something in the rearview mirror. There's a boy sitting in her back seat. She screams. Chen just waves at her, greets her casually, calls her beautiful. Our guy really just broke into her car and is acting like nothing happened. Classic protagonist behavior. Sun-ye demands to know when he got into her car and what he wants. He asks if she could give him a ride. She's completely confused. Wasn't he supposed to be waiting for someone back at the office? But somehow she agrees to help. Before she starts driving, she asks for his name. Can't just have a stranger in her car without knowing what to call him? While she's talking, Chen is looking at her closely. He notices something troubling. Her yin-tang is darkened. For those who don't know, that's a serious sign in fortune reading. It usually means bad things are coming. He introduces himself as Yi Chang but says she can call him by his second name. Keeps it vague. Keeps his identity hidden. Smart move considering everyone who knew the Yi family either abandoned them or wants them dead. Next thing you know, our guy and Sun-ye are walking into some kind of fancy event together. A party full of businessmen and wealthy types. And the moment Sun-ye steps through those doors, every head in the room turns. Everyone is stunned by her beauty. People are whispering, wondering why she's walking in with a man. Apparently, this is the first time anyone has ever seen her show up to an event with someone. Our hero just casually upgraded her reputation without even trying. They find a table and sit down. But before they can even get comfortable, trouble arrives. Go Yon, the founder of the Yashin group, walks over with a bunch of other businessmen. He announces that they'll be sitting at Sun-ye's table. Doesn't ask, just declares it. Suddenly, she's surrounded. Everyone is proposing toasts, trying to get her attention, trying to impress her. You can see how uncomfortable she is. This is clearly not her scene. Go-yeon makes his move. He claims that Sun-ye must have had a hard time recently and offers himself as her companion for the evening. Smooth, right? Wrong. Sun-ye shuts him down immediately. She says she's already there with a friend, and then she turns to Chen and tells him to order whatever he likes. Go-yeon's face? Priceless. He looks at our hero with pure disdain. Before they can hit her with another glass, Chen steps in. He grabs the drink and says he'll drink on her behalf. The businessmen get irritated. They ask who this kid is and what he's doing here. Our guy is about to introduce himself, but Sun-ye cuts him off. She says that's not the proper way to refuse a drink and she'll handle it. She tells them she's not good at drinking, can only manage one glass, and asks for their understanding. The three businessmen agree. They're smitten, but one of them isn't satisfied. Asks if one glass is an exaggeration. That's when Chen Fang approaches. A murmur spreads through the crowd. Everyone's talking about him, second young master of the Chen family. Apparently Sun-ye has had issues with him before. The man gets close to her, says she left without saying goodbye last time, so this time she'll have to drink the whole bottle. Not a request, an order. Sun-ye tries to deflect, says drinking too much might cause problems, asks if she could just have one glass. Chen Fang isn't having it. He mentions he has a presidential suite upstairs with plenty of space. She can sleep there after getting drunk. Our guy reads the situation instantly. This piece of trash drugs women. That's his whole thing. Sun-ye refuses the wine. The old man snaps, calls her a brat, accuses her of pretending to be a good girl. Scared Sun-ye reflects that she came from a simple family. Took years to reach her position as director. Compared to the son of a wealthy family, she's nothing. Chen has seen enough. He steps forward, takes the wine from Chen Fang's hand, lifts it up. The man asks who the hell this kid is. Without hesitation, our hero smashes the wine bottle over Chen Fang's head. The man falls to the ground screaming, asks how this boy dared to hit him, something not even his own father has done. Yi Chen fires back, asks how he dared force the girl to drink. Everyone is shocked. They're whispering that this involves the young master of the Chen family, that the family has an ancient martial artist on their side. This is bad. Sun Ye is worried. She's dragged him into this mess. She apologizes, says she'll drink all the wine tonight, claims Yi Chen is her friend, and asks them to let him go. Chen Fang gets up, furious, says the girl has no right to make conditions, that the boy is in danger too, that he's going to die. And then something satisfying happens. Chen Fang suddenly screams about his testicles, falls to his knees with his hands between his legs. Our guy kicked him where it counts. Classic. Still screaming, Chen Fang demands the boy's death. Yi Chen approaches, touches the man's forehead, and asks who's supposed to die today. Mocking, asks which of them will die first while pushing the man's head toward the ground. Someone orders them to stop. A gray-haired man appears, tells them to let Chen Fang go. Security guards surround the scene. This is Zheno, head of the Chen family. Beside him stands an elder radiating immense aura, a legendary ancient martial artist. Sun Ye becomes even more worried. Chen Fang runs to his father crying, saying he got kicked in the testicles and demanding revenge. Zheno tells his son to shut up and move aside. Then he asks who this young man is. Another man says the boy is a martial artist, but based on his age, he's probably only recently entered the realm of mortal warriors. Yi Chen approaches, asks what they want from him. Zheno says the boy made him lose face, wonders what to do with him, but he adds that he's a kind person. If the young man begs for mercy, he might leave his body intact. The martial artist, Old Ming, steps forward, acknowledges the boy's impressive skills at a young age, says he'll handle this personally. Old Ming rushes forward, gets close, touches Yi Chen's shoulder, tries to intimidate him, says if the boy begs for mercy, he might let him live. Our hero doesn't flinch, says he won't beg. Sun Ye watches, wondering what just happened. Yi Chen grabs the elder by the head, asks if he's already chosen a coffin for his funeral arrangements. Old Ming is furious, orders the boy to go to hell, tries to strike. Yi Chen defends himself and lands a punch directly on the martial artist's mouth. The force sends the man crashing to the ground so hard it cracks. Our guy stands over him, remarks that the elder is truly evil, then asks who's next. Everyone is wide-eyed, terrified. Zheno can't believe what he just saw. Old Ming defeated by a boy. The martial artist gets up from the ground, asks who the protagonist is, makes a comment about his cultivation level. Yi Chen considers answering, then asks if Ming is even worthy of knowing. A loud noise fills the room. People cover their ears, screaming. They wonder what's happening. Our hero approaches Zheno, asks if he is the patriarch. The man is trembling, can't even form a sentence. Yi Chen recalls that the Chens also played a part in the tragedy that befell his family. A shot rings out. Someone orders him to stop. Guards approach. The elder says the young man won't want to do this. The men in black move to grab him. With a single punch, Yi Chen sends the entire group flying, says ordinary people can't do anything against him. Zheno begs for forgiveness, admits fault for failing to educate his son properly. Yi Chen says he's sorry, but it's time to collect the debt. Someone orders him to stop again. Another person approaches, commands both sides to step back. Looking more closely at the scene, they notice Zheno on his knees. Can't understand why. Then they see Old Ming lying on the ground, astonished by what this boy has done. Yi Chen grabs Zheno by the hair, reports to the officer that this man attempted to assault a woman but was fortunately stopped. The officer orders him to let go, threatens to shoot if he doesn't comply. Turns out it's a female officer. Our guy finds that impressive. He says this is a personal matter, suggests she stay out of it. The policewoman orders him to raise his hands, final warning, points her gun at him. Yi Chen is frustrated, wonders if they don't have anything better to do. Sun Ye grabs his hands, apologizes, says he needs to stop now. She tells the police not to shoot, explains her friend has already surrendered. When asked if they need handcuffs, Sun Yi tells him not to worry. They'll go to the station to give statements. Everything should be fine. At the security room, an officer tells the captain he's watched the hotel footage at least 10 times. Part of the content was deleted, but the remaining footage shows Yi Chen acting in self-defense. The missing footage catches the captain's attention. She asks what exactly is no longer there. They show her the file. One frame shows Gino with the elder beside him. The next frame, the martial artist is already on the ground. No information about what happened in between. The policewoman is puzzled. They arrive quickly. No one could have deleted footage that fast. She believes there's someone very powerful behind this boy. Lacking sufficient evidence, she concludes it was self-defense and orders his release. Celebrating, Sun Ye says she was right, remarks that being free is much better, adds that she plans to take a shower when she gets home to wash off the bad luck. Reflecting on what happened, Yi Chen considers that Zheno and his son are a hidden danger to the girl. He thinks he'll need time to settle the score with those two. Meanwhile, Sunya observes her friend. She states that she feels he has a dangerous and indescribable aura. Noticing her gaze, he asks why she's acting that way. Trying to disguise her thoughts, she says she was thinking about taking him home, asks where he lives. He explains that he recently arrived in the city. Having not found a place to stay, he'll probably have to sleep in the park tonight. With sympathy, she suggests that he sleep at her house, says she has an extra room. Our guy's thoughts are overwhelmed with possibilities. He hesitates to accept. Impatient, Sunye asks again. He agrees. Even though she lets them leave, the policewoman remains thoughtful about what happened. Considering that the Chen family's bodyguards are all special forces soldiers, she can't understand how they couldn't defeat the boy. Realizing she can't handle this situation alone, she decides to call her older brother for help. Says she'll send him a video and needs his help identifying a person. The mountains of Siberia are introduced. The brother is working out. He thinks his sister is always restless about family business and constantly needs his help to solve problems. But at least he's the captain of the Dragon Spirit Command Unit, not just a simple policeman. He grabs the tablet and decides to take a look at what she sent. Watching the security footage, he remarks that it's shameful for a group of Special Forces veterans to intimidate a boy. Looking more closely, he wonders if one of those people is an ancient martial artist. Seeing the boy up close, the brother concludes that he's not an ordinary martial artist. He quickly calls his sister and says he wants all the information about the video as soon as possible. An apartment is shown. Sunye comes out of the shower, says she's finished, and tells Yi Chen he can go wash up. Assessing the situation, our guy thinks that this woman is really very carefree. He goes in to take a shower. While cleaning himself, he reflects on the past. He was saved 5 years ago by his master and thought it was a blessing. It turned out to be the start of a nightmare. On the first day, without explanation, the old man locked him in a cage with a hungry tiger to fight. Surviving that, he was promoted. Then the old man taught him to cultivate. His thoughts darken. All the masters who participated in the meeting at Yanwu Villa back then. He threatens in his mind that they will all pay dearly. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Sunya reflects that she has no other clothes for the boy to change into. Talking about clothes, she suddenly realizes she forgot to hide the underwear she had changed out of. Panicking, she exclaims that her friend must not see them. Quickly, she opens the bathroom door, asks him to step out, and says she needs to grab something, but she's interrupted. Without clothes, the young man stands in the bathroom and asks what she needs. Embarrassed, the girl is left speechless. Our guy asks if she couldn't wait until he had something on. Blushing with shame, Sunya says she's leaving and apologizes. Insists she didn't mean to take advantage of him. She lies on the bed repeating to herself that she saw nothing. On the other side of the door, Yi Chen tries to understand what happened, reflects that the girl probably won't leave her room anytime soon, but he has other matters to handle, eliminating evil at its root. The Chen family villa is introduced. Geno sits at the table, visibly irritated. His son asks him to stop trembling, saying it's scaring him. Harshly, the man hits his son. Says that if it weren't for him, old Ming wouldn't be greatly injured. Trying to defend himself, Chen Fang says they still have his grandfather in the family. Even so, Geno says he doesn't feel safe, won't rest until Yi Chen is eliminated. Tomorrow, they'll go to Mount Wei to ask for the old man's help. Chen Fang celebrates, says that once the protagonist is defeated, he'll steal Sun Ye for himself and torture the girl in front of his opponent. Someone approaches after hearing Sun Ye's name, asks if the young man dares to touch her. Chen Fang becomes startled. It's Yi Chen. Declares that they need to talk more about what happened. The man asks if he wants to kill him. Unleashing his power, our hero asks if they truly believe he wouldn't. The purple light touches Fang's neck. He asks again, does the boy still believe he wouldn't dare? Geno panics at seeing his injured son, says he holds no grudge for what happened. Mocking, Yi Chen remarks that it's funny for the man to claim there's no grudge between them. He decides to ask a question. Going back in time, he asks if the man remembers the banquet at Yunho Villa 5 years ago, and the couple that was killed. Quickly, Geno realizes who the boy standing before him is. He takes a hard blow to the face. The man says it's impossible. The young man was supposed to be dead. Yi Chen states he will reveal a secret. He's not an ancient martial artist, he's a cultivator. He continues explaining. For practitioners like him, even with a powerful master, an entire clan of martial artists is insignificant. In one swift move, he unleashes power toward the man, causing him to fall to the ground. The scene shifts to Mount Wei. A man is levitating over the mountain, Chen Yanwu. He receives a large amount of power. Quickly, he realizes that his son and grandson have been killed, questions who dared to destroy the family. Without hesitation, the elder swears to the heavens that he will find the killer, slay them, cut them to pieces. Far away, Yi Chen is also floating in the air, surrounded by fire while cultivating. He thinks that China's spiritual energy is very poor, insufficient for his needs. To cultivate properly, he needs some pills. But before that, he plans to visit his parents' graves on Tiandan Mountain. Their death anniversary is in a week. He clutches a stone in his hands, says it was a gift from his father when he turned 11, but it seems to be an ordinary stone. Looking more closely, he notices words written on the object. Although unclear, he realizes the stone requires a drop of blood to identify its owner. He places a drop on it. Suddenly, something happens. The protagonist is startled. He says he's very tired, can't take it anymore. A mound with several gravestones is shown. The young man is lying on the ground. Shirtless and dirty, he complains of a headache. Observing the area, he notices a dark mist. Something catches his attention and scares him. Desperate, he wonders what kind of place this is. Looking around, he senses a great energy. A strange being appears. Says it doesn't understand how a mere human at the final stage of Ruji dared to enter the cemetery of reincarnation. The monster continues, states that even if the young man wanted to, he wouldn't be capable of awakening even the weakest of the gravestones. Threatening him, the being says that if the boy doesn't want to die, he must leave immediately. Chen wakes up startled, finds himself in his bed, gets up, somewhat confused about what just happened. His first thought is about the stone. The elder said it was an ancient treasure. Thinking deeply, he recalls the being's words. He'll only be able to summon the great powers of the gravestones if he reaches a certain power level. There are 100 gravestones in the cemetery of reincarnation, so there must be 100 great powers. Sonya knocks on the door, asks if Chang is awake, says lunch is ready and he should eat before it gets cold. Quickly the boy says he's coming. The cemetery of reincarnation continues to echo in his mind. Later, he sits at the table to eat. He thanks Sun Ye, saying she treats him very well. Because of that, he should offer his own body to warm her bed in the winter. Good-humored, the young woman says she doesn't need it. The house already has underfloor heating. But if he really wants to stay, it's not impossible. He just needs to pay rent and take care of his own chores. Without money, he says he wouldn't be able to pay rent. The girl becomes a bit frustrated. Our guy grabs a piece of paper and starts writing something. He hands it to his friend who looks confused, not understanding what's happening. He claims it's a recipe for a skincare product, and with it, rent would no longer be an issue. Sun Ye remains puzzled about the meaning of the entire situation. With a plan in mind, he says that the group she works for is a cosmetics company. If she shows them the recipe, it could be worth over 10 million. The phone starts ringing. The girl realizes it's Miss Xia. Upon hearing the name, Chen becomes thoughtful. Sun Ye is called to a meeting and says she's heading to the location. She bids her friend farewell, says she's in a hurry, but advises him to look for a job. Chen remarks that he had heard Chinese medicine was disappearing but didn't think it was true. Later in the city center, someone is selling a marvelous bone rejuvenator, offering a 20% discount to the first buyers of the product. Additionally, the treatment promises to cure all diseases for just 100,000 yuan. It's Chen. Our guy is selling medicine with a megaphone. Classic cultivation protagonist side hustle. People gather to listen but claim the young man is crazy for selling at such an absurd price. They suggest calling the police. Realizing the risk, the boy decides it's better to move his business elsewhere, asks people to clear the way. A girl appears and asks him to follow her. A house is introduced. The girl has pink hair. She says it's her house. Our hero remarks that it's very large. She assures him not to worry, promises to ensure his family is cured. Quickly, the girl clarifies that she didn't bring him to heal anyone. Instead, it was because of his ability to lie and deceive. He defends himself, says he's neither a liar nor a fraud. Moreover, he doesn't have time for games, suggests she find someone else. However, she hands him a card with 100,000 yuan. With the money in hand, our guy agrees to do whatever the young lady wants. She explains that her father is very ill, only has a few days to live. She fears her mother might do something irrational if the worst happens. The girl asks him to take her father to a doctor and pretend they're going to the mountains before he dies, helping her mother cope with the loss. Chen thinks this isn't the proper way to use him, but since he's already there, it's a different matter. He accepts the mission and promises to complete the task successfully. Laughing, the girl says if he hadn't agreed, she would have called the police. Someone opens the door and asks if the young lady has returned. The person questions whether she brought strangers into the house, but the girl assures them there's nothing to worry about. Both head to the girl's father's room. She introduces herself as Zhao Ya and says she just got back. Chen assesses the situation, realizes no medicine could save the old man. The girl cries. Death's energy has completely filled the old man's chest. Once it reaches his head, not even an immortal could save him. Explaining the situation, Zhao Ya says her father was diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. The doctor stated he only had a few days to live. Holding the protagonist's hands, she pleads for help, promises to support him financially. The mother approaches, asks if it's true that her husband doesn't have much time left. Zhao Ya is upset. She had agreed with the doctor not to tell her mother about her father's condition. Ming Long appears. That's the brother. He says she shouldn't have lied to their mother. Claims he's already organized the funeral and promises a proper burial for their father. Zhao Ya revolts, says he had no right to act that way. Coldly, Ming Long says he can't stand seeing their father suffer anymore, won't mistreat his sister once he takes on the family responsibilities. Crying heavily, the mother says she can't survive without her husband, will die alongside him. Chen quickly realizes what's happening. When the father dies, the inheritance will be divided, and the brother intends to kill his own mother too. Furious, Zhaoya asks if her brother wants to kill their mother, accuses him of not caring about their sick father. An argument erupts between the two. The brother threatens to rip his sister's mouth off. To defend the girl, Chen punches Minglong in the mouth. The young man falls to the ground. The mother is shocked by the scene. The butler intervenes, asks who the boy is, says that man will be the head of the family in a few days. Chen raises his fingers and says he can save the patient if they pay him 100 million. Everyone is deeply saddened by the patriarch's condition. Desperate, the mother asks if he's truly the right person to save her husband. Zhaoya reassures her, says she's known the boy for a long time. Angry about the situation, Minglong doesn't believe the story, accuses his sister of hiring a fraud to divide their father's inheritance, threatens her, says it will be her fault if their father dies, that he will send Chen to jail. Our hero observes the old man lying on the bed at death's door. With all this energy, the boy says the old man is lucky to have found him. His master taught him a technique that can heal the old man and bring him back from the brink of death. Activating his powers, Chen calls upon the spirits and monsters of heaven and earth, commands them to begin healing the elder. He continues chanting words while the father is enveloped by purple energy. Quickly, the old man begins emitting power from his eyes, mouth, and nose. Chen realizes the death energy has been blocked. However, there remains one vein. If he can block it, he might save the elderly man's life. The immense energy continues surrounding the elder as our guy maintains his affirmations. Suddenly, the death energy completely leaves the man's body. Chen commands it to shatter. With his hands extended, he releases another surge of great power. Floating in the air, the old man expels all the energy from his mouth, nose, and eyes. He collapses back onto the bed, exhausted. Chen reflects that he didn't expect to expend so much energy saving the man, realizes he needs more practice. He leaves the room and informs the family that the elder should wake up soon, shocking everyone as they see he truly saved him. He tells them they can see for themselves what he's done, asks for the payment. The family matriarch hands him a card. Disbelieving, Minglong tells his mother it's impossible for the elder to be healed. He has terminal cancer. It doesn't make sense. Chen explains that he has saved the man, and the 10 million is his payment for the service. But Minglong insists on seeing the results first. Determined, Chen forbids the boy from entering the room, says the elder will awaken, but only in 3 days. Gripping and pinning the brother down, Chen twists his arm and slams him to the ground. He holds up the card, declares he will take the money, and asks them to call him in 3 days. Mentions he will need to administer medicine to the father. Minglong grows furious, claims that a bastard not only assaulted him but also stole his money, threatens to call the police. Zhaoya glances to the side. Something catches her attention. Suddenly, the father rises and walks out of the room. Everyone is left in shock. Desperate, the brother cannot comprehend how this is possible. The old man asks where the doctor who healed him is. He calls for his wife and daughter, thanking them for the miracle, says he feels much better. The elder remarks that his son has done many good things recently, all for the family's safety. But then he surprises everyone. He says he knows exactly what the boy has done while he was ill, declares he will not give him a single cent, and that if not for the doctor, the son would have let him die. Meanwhile, across the city at the Hame Group building, things are falling apart. A meeting is underway. All the executives are gathered around a table and the mood is grim. The company's shares are plummeting. If something doesn't change fast, bankruptcy is on the table. Everyone is panicking. They're throwing out ideas trying to figure out how to save the company, but nothing is working. They've been stagnant for too long. Competitors are crushing them with better products. Sun Ye approaches the meeting room and overhears the discussion. She lingers outside, listening to the desperation in their voices. Inside, the debate continues. What can they do? What product could possibly turn things around? And that's when Sun Ye remembers something. She reaches into her bra and pulls out a piece of paper. It's the note Chen left her earlier. She'd forgotten about it completely. The note mentions something called a beauty pill, some kind of formula. She reads it over. Her first instinct is to dismiss it. This thing is probably worthless, maybe worth 10 million at best. Nothing that could save an entire company. But before she can think further, someone snatches the paper right out of her hand. A woman in a red dress. This is Suna, and she's clearly not a fan of Sun Ye. Suna looks at the note and asks what Sun Ye was hiding in her bra. She reads it out loud, mocking the whole thing. A beauty pill? Really? Some fraudster probably gave this to her. Sun Ye demands the paper back. Suna refuses. She keeps taunting, asking if Sun Ye slept with someone to get this worthless scrap. That's when Sun Yi snaps. She accuses Suna of being the one who sells her body, demands the paper back one more time. Suna laughs and says she's going to throw it away. Then she tears it up. Sun Ye is speechless. For a moment she just stares. Then she explodes. She yells that Suna can't intimidate people like this. Even if it's just a piece of paper, it still belongs to her. And then she slaps Suna across the face. The argument turns into a full-on fight. Both women are grabbing each other's hair, shouting insults, threatening each other. The executives are watching in horror, trying to break them up. And then the door opens. Everyone freezes. A blonde woman walks in. She surveys the scene with cold fury in her eyes. It's Shiораku, the company president. She calls out to the two women. They immediately stop fighting and look up, completely caught off guard. With Shiораku standing in the doorway, the entire room goes silent. Sunya and Suna both freeze mid-fight, hair still tangled in each other's hands. Not a great look in front of the company president. The atmosphere shifts immediately. Shiораku doesn't yell, doesn't need to. Her presence alone is enough to make everyone straighten up. The meeting begins, and the president doesn't waste time with pleasantries. She explains the situation clearly. Other companies are releasing excellent products left and right. Meanwhile, Hame has been stagnant, stuck in the same place, falling behind while competitors sprint ahead. The executives try to defend themselves. They stammer out excuses. They've been working hard. The industry is competitive. Finding new formulas is nearly impossible. Shiораku cuts through the noise. She points out that for 3 entire years, their products have seen zero progress. 3 years. That's not bad luck. That's a core problem. The employees scramble to explain further. They claim they've traveled the world searching for new formulas, but found almost nothing worth using. The good stuff is either locked away or lost to history. The president acknowledges that formulas are indeed extremely rare. Then she shares something personal. She spent 5 years building this company. 5 years of grinding, sacrificing, pushing forward. She did it all to support her parents. And she's not about to give up now just because things got hard. That's when Sunyi decides to stir the pot. She speaks up and says that Suna might actually have the solution. After all, she's the one holding pieces of paper that reference something called a beauty pill. The room goes quiet. One of the associates looks up, shocked. He says the beauty pill formula was believed to be lost to ancient times. If someone actually has it, the company could be saved overnight. Everyone turns to Suna. They're asking if it's true. Does she really have the formula? Suna is sweating now. She stammers that it's not real. Just something someone wrote down as a joke. Nothing serious. Shiораku asks to see the paper anyway. Suna hesitates, then hands over the torn pieces. She apologizes, says it was just a prank from a friend. The executives are confused. How could a valuable ancient formula end up scribbled on a random piece of paper? It doesn't make sense. Suna is quietly celebrating. She thinks she just made Sunya look like a fool in front of everyone. Brought in a fake formula and wasted the president's time. Perfect sabotage. But then one of the associates interrupts. He grabs a piece of the torn paper, examines it closely, and his expression changes completely. He says it's real. The room erupts. The man is furious. He points at Suna and accuses her of jeopardizing the entire company. That formula was exactly what they needed. And she tore it up out of petty jealousy. The director is screaming now. He says Suna needs to leave the meeting immediately. If they can't recover the formula, she's facing legal consequences. This isn't a game anymore. Suna tries to defend herself. She didn't know it was real. She didn't mean to destroy it. But nobody cares about her excuses. Everyone is desperate. They realize the formula was genuine. Recovering it could lead to dozens of new products. It could save the company. Shiораku makes a decision. She orders everyone to help Sunye collect the torn pieces. They need to recover as much of the recipe as possible. Then she turns to Suna. The president's voice is cold. She fires Suna on the spot. Then, because apparently death isn't enough, she demotes her to working as a clerk at the company's newest store. From director to retail worker in 30 seconds. Brutal, totally deserved. Later that night, Sunye returns home. She calls out for Yi Chen as she walks through the door. No response. The apartment is empty. He's not there. She sits down, still processing everything that happened. She admits to herself that she hadn't believed the formula was real. She thought it was just some random note from a weird guy she barely knew. But it was real, and now she's wondering if she'll ever see him again. She keeps thinking about him. He's incredibly strong, writes secret recipes like it's nothing, has powers she can't even begin to understand. But at the end of the day, he's still a stranger. She let a complete unknown into her home. What was she thinking? Her mind keeps spinning. What if once she discovers his true identity, he disappears? What if he's already gone for good? And then a hand reaches out and touches her head. Sun Ye nearly jumps out of her skin. She whips around and there he is, Yi Chen, standing right behind her like he materialized out of thin air. He says he heard her calling his name. Our guy really just appeared like a ghost and acted like it was normal. She asks when he got back. He says recently. Heard her say his name while she was lost in thought. He sits down next to her. She's visibly nervous, stammering, awkward energy all over the place. Yi Chen asks why she's acting like that. Sun Ye takes a breath and apologizes. She says she's sorry for tearing up the recipe he gave her. She didn't know it was valuable. She feels terrible about it. Our hero just shrugs. He tells her that recipe was something for beginners. Then he asks if she wants something more potent. She's stunned. Beginners? That formula had the entire executive team losing their minds. And he's calling it entry level? Before she can process that, Yi Chen announces he's going to bed early. Long day. He's tired. Sun Ye quickly stops him, says she has something to ask. He pauses, says he'll listen but repeats that he's really tired. She explains that, after the meeting today, Shiaraku said she wants to meet him, the same woman he caused a whole scene trying to see. Now she's interested. Our guy's expression shifts, annoyed, maybe even a little disgusted. He says he's unavailable. Sun Yi doesn't understand. She points out that he literally offended the entire security department just to see this woman. Now, she wants to meet him and he's saying no? Chen doesn't get it either. Yesterday he was being ignored, treated like some random troublemaker, and now suddenly she wants to help? What changed? Sun Yi tries to explain the situation, but our hero cuts her off. He says fine, he'll meet Shiaraku, but he'll decide at the moment whether or not to actually go through with it. No promises. Then he shuts the bedroom door, says he's going to sleep. They'll talk tomorrow? Elsewhere, a phone rings. It's Sun Ye on the line. She's talking to someone referred to as Mr. Xia. The person asks what Yi Chen said about the meeting. Sun Ye reports that he agreed to meet but will make the final decision himself. He's not committing to anything. On the other end, it's actually Shiaraku. She says that's not a problem. She'll think about how to approach this. In the meantime, she asks her friend to keep an eye on the boy. She hangs up and sits back, thoughtful. She finds it interesting. This kid caused absolute chaos at her office, brought security to their knees, radiated power that terrified everyone in the building. And now he's just living in Sun Ye's apartment, acting normal. What exactly is he planning? If you enjoyed the story so far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Yume Recap, and stay tuned for the next video.